Conventional privacy policies are very long and often use a difficult language. That is why most users consent to them with little or no reading. So the assumption of customers making informed decisions about their data online is currently not valid. Different browser extensions were released to provide data visualization or ratings of privacy practices, but they have to be installed proactively. So visual summaries to supplement long text policies were proposed in the field of usable privacy. By applying design principles such as salience and layering, they aim to provide a more accessible interface to the user. Some of them were shown to improve comprehension and others to keep users engaged longer. But they are hardly known outside academia and rarely deployed in practice. An explanation might be a lacking evaluation of their user experience or their effect on measures relevant to businesses like user attitudes and conversions. As an attempt to fill this gap, we gathered user feedback in a pre-study to find the best alternative to regular privacy policies. In 7 semi-structured interviews, we wanted to find out what contents of privacy policies are most important to users and what strengths and weaknesses existing alternatives have. At first, subjects ranked 8 typical elements of privacy policies by personal relevance. Next, we showed them 2 representations from literature and 3 new ones we developed. They shared first impressions, comprehension issues, and general feedback for each one. Finally, they had to choose favorites from all representations over different categories while explaining their decisions and giving comparative feedback. After analyzing the interviews, we found out that users cared most about the collected data, its usage, and disclosure to third parties. From the insights, we also derived guidelines for more accessible privacy policy designs. From all given representations, the privacy nutrition label scored best overall, while also receiving positive feedback for its structure and choice of contents. But participants criticized it for being overwhelming, while at the same time missing explanations, examples, and the possibility to control privacy settings directly within the nutrition label. To address these shortcomings, we developed our new visual interactive privacy policy. It guides the user's attention with colors and uses less technical terms and more icons, which makes the key obsolete. By interacting with it, users can find contextual explanations, examples, and they can control their privacy settings right within the prototype.
In our main study, we investigated a question whether our prototype can improve user experience, performance, and business interests. To this end, we compared our new prototype along with a standard long text and a nutrition label in an account registration context. As a sample, we used 90 students in a between subjects design. As dependent variables, we measured the user experience using the UEQ questionnaire, several metrics concerning business interests, and the user's performance on the basis of exposure time. Multiple ANOVAs showed significant differences between the 3 policies regarding attractiveness, stimulation, novelty, exposure time, and transparency. Pairwise comparisons between our prototype and the long text showed that the exposure time, attractiveness, stimulation, novelty, and transparency were significantly higher in favor of our prototype. Pairwise comparisons between our prototype and the nutrition label showed that only the exposure time was significantly higher while using our prototype. However, it was twice as high, and our prototype also performed descriptively better regarding stimulation, novelty, control, and transparency. In conclusion, our visual interactive privacy policy was better than a long text in many respects, but rarely better than a nutrition label, what creates opportunities for future research. Since our new representation only performs better in terms of transparency when compared to a long text, but not in terms of conversion rate, trust and control, which are usually intertwined, future research could clarify how transparent a privacy policy presentation must be to affect the other parameters. Future studies could also have a more qualitative focus and find out which design changes in our visual interactive privacy policy compared to other representations add the most value for users. For more detailed discussion and more opportunities for future research, please refer to our paper. Thank you very much for listening.